Good day, students. This is problem number 1 of our fundamental review series on the AP Calculus multiple choice review exam. It corresponds to problem 10 on the 2008 release questions. So the question reads, the function f is given by f of x equals ax squared plus 12 divided by x squared plus b. The figure above shows a portion of the graph of f. Which of the following could be the values of the constants a and b? So this problem is assessing our ability to find the equation of two types of lines. Okay, this line right here going up and down, and the equation of this line going side to side. Now, do you know what the name of these lines are in the context of this graph? These lines are called your asymptotes, okay? Remember from pre-calculus, this is your vertical asymptote and this is your horizontal asymptote. All right, so this problem is assessing our ability to find the equation of the vertical and horizontal asymptotes. All right, let's go ahead and label them. This is our horizontal asymptote, horizontal asymptote, and the equation is y equals. Now what you're going to do is look at where this horizontal line intersects the y-axis, and that's at 3. Okay, so it's y equals 3. The line that goes up and down, that is your vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote. This is going to be an x line. X equals, where does this vertical line cut the x-axis to? X equals 2. Okay, so the question is, if you're given a rational function of this nature, can you find the horizontal and vertical asymptote? If you apply the appropriate or the correct algorithm in finding the asymptotes, we should be able to find out what a and b are, since we already know what the answers are. Okay, so let's start by looking at the horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote. Now the question is, how do you find your horizontal asymptote given a function of this nature? All you simply do is take the limit as x approaches plus or minus infinity. In this problem, we can focus on x going to infinity. Right here, that will suffice, but in most cases, this is the standard procedure for finding the horizontal asymptote. There could be more than one, okay, asymptote or asymptotes. All right, so let's see. We know that the horizontal asymptote is y equals 3. So if we find the limit as x approaches plus or minus infinity of the function ax squared plus 12 divided by x squared plus b, our answer should be what? Should be 3. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and solve this equation, this limit equation. Now, how do you find the limit as x approaches infinity or negative infinity? What you do is you focus on the fastest growing term in the numerator and in the denominator. All right? In the numerator, ax squared is the fastest growing. 12 is just a constant. And then in the denominator, ax squared, x squared is the fastest growing. Okay, whichever term has the highest degree, that's normally the fastest growing term in the polynomial expression. So this limit can be reduced to the limit as x approaches plus or minus infinity of ax squared divided by x squared. Okay, and that should be equal to 3. Now, how do we solve the left side here? Notice we can reduce x squared and x squared, divide out 1 1, we're going to have the limit as x approaches plus or minus infinity of the constant a equals 3. And if you find this limit, this constant is independent of where x goes. So we have a equals 3. All right? So let's look at our options. With the answer a equals 3, we can eliminate options A, B, and C. Okay, so we're now down to 2 options. All right, next thing we're going to look at is the vertical asymptote. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that here. Vertical asymptote. Now, how do you find your vertical asymptote? To find your vertical asymptote, all you simply do is you set the denominator equal to 0 and solve. Okay, so let's go ahead and write that down. Procedure for finding the vertical asymptote. We set denominator to 0 and solve. That's how you find the vertical asymptote, okay? All right, now let's go ahead and apply that here. So we're going to set the denominator, x squared plus b equal to 0. Okay, and then we want to solve this equation for x. But wait, we already know what the vertical asymptote is, right? What is the vertical asymptote? The vertical asymptote is x equals 2. Okay, so if I plug in 2 here and solve for b, that will be my final answer for b. Okay, so since our vertical asymptote is x equals 2, so let's just write that down. Since VA is x equals 2, we plug it in here. 2 squared plus b must be equal to 0. Okay, so if you solve that, you have b equals 2 squared is 4. Subtract 4 from both sides, negative 4. That's your answer for B. Okay, so you can clearly see that our answer is option letter D. So you can click on the link below to gain access to the remainder of the problems. Thanks again for watching, and don't forget to visit our website at math.serve.com under AP Calculus for access to more review materials.